A big hello and a warm welcome to all of you amazing and beautiful people out there to my channel, the Twinflame Union. And in this channeling session, I would like to say that some time back I did a channeling and then it was given to me in two forms, and that is something which confused me a bit. So I shared the other channeling in the Twinflame Universe channel because that was more connected to people who are in the runner-chaser dynamic, who could be in the recognition phase also, because sometimes in recognition phase also there is some kind of a confusion that one another can feel, that is he the right person or not, is he the one or not, is she the one or not. No, she's the one for me, and then you fall to that person more. And then it can this type of thing, like this coming and going can happen in all stages also. For some people it can even overlap, because there is only one place where there is no contact, and that point is the phase that we call as long separation, because separation in twin flame universe and twin flame world is very common. As much as the love is very common, the profound, intense, never like before type of love is there, same thing happens with separation, because the divine feminine and masculine are not here like other people to only clear their karmic debts. That's the reason why in regular world you will see, in the 3D world, most marriages are karmic marriages, most of them. But in twin flame world, the union or the marriage happens in the 5D world, and whatever happens otherwise is result of the inner work. It could be because they are here to, join forces with the ancestors. They are here for planet Earth's ascension. They are here for like a great mission on planet Earth, and they are here to assist planet Earth. So obviously their lifestyle cannot be like others, and therefore when the divine feminines and the masculines, when they complain and crib like other people, they delay their journey by putting the blame or by comparing their lives like, oh, he did this to me, she did this to me, and it's not this, it's not that. So what happens is then they start acting like the other materialistic people who are living in the 3D world. They have to act and they have to live like 5D and above. Only then they are going to be fulfilling their mission. So this channeling is about a divine masculine who is feeling a lot of affection and a lot of love towards divine feminine, because both of them have done considerable amount of work in the twin flame journey. And in the 5D, they have they already had the dream space work. They've done a lot of things, but the divine feminine is also practicing astral projections and lucid dreaming, which means that this is a very advanced level of, spiritual work, where you start doing astral projections. And astral projections are a completely different phenomenon, and it happens when you are very deep into focused attention. So this type of a divine feminine, she is creating a mirror reflection in the divine masculine, who is thinking that it's because of her that he feels blessed and he feels happy, and he also feels that as long as she's around me and she's in my life, everything is going to be all right. The other version of the same channeling, which is a shorter version, which is for the initial stages, and for some people it could be connecting with the harmonious, just before the harmonious union also, that fluctuation can happen. So that's why it's on the Twin Flame Universe channel, the other channel that I have created recently. In this session, I would be totally focused on the divine masculine and divine feminine, who are in the final stages of the twin flame journey. They have surrendered to the universe, and let me tell you, surrendering is the key stage. That is the stage that creates a bridge between the materialistic world and the spiritual world. And those who cannot do surrender, they cannot reach anything, and they find a lot of people underestimate surrender, the letting go part of it, but that part is actually the most crucial part, and sometimes it takes a long time for people to do the complete surrender. They start surrendering, but slowly and gradually it takes effect, and slowly and gradually they start shedding off what's not required. In many cases, there is also a situation of walk-ins. I don't know how many of you know about it or not, but in some of my videos, there was a series that I did wherein I spoke about walk-ins, I spoke about divine feminines who quit the journey, and they come back into the journey after some time again. Then I spoke about false twins in details. So walk-ins happen when when the masculine refuses to do work. He refuses to, do inner work, and the divine feminine has already done the inner work, or she is doing the inner work and she clears those particular areas. But the person who has the divine masculine energy, he does not want to let go of the ego state, or he does not want to let go of whatever there is, despite being aware. So one is, the person is not aware, and then he is not doing something. It's okay, because that person doesn't know. You cannot expect from a person who's not aware about certain things. But if a person is aware about this concept, and they're very well versed with all the stages, and they have had discussions with their twin about it on deep levels, and they have even used some of those specific things, and still if they decide to not go ahead, not do the work, and they choose something very materialistic, something which is very easy, according to them, it's like having an easy life. They don't want to do all the work anymore, or they just get some things from the devil, and they are like, okay, I can sell my soul. In those cases, these are few cases where the walk-ins happen and the energy is replaced, and it is given into another divine masculine who is probably much ready, or who is like going to do all the work that is required, even if he is not getting, in some cases, the equal things, or he may not be even aware about this concept. All he knows that he only wants true love, and he will not compromise no matter what. He only wants that. If he's not gonna get that, then he's not gonna compromise. He'd rather be alone, he'd rather do his work, he'd rather focus on his self-development, but he's not going to get into any, flings or any relationships where the expectations are not clear. If it is love and, or if it is not love also, and the expectation is very clear, then only he will get into something, otherwise he will not. So that type of energy is needed. And so in any case, the divine masculine has sort of understood by now that no matter what I chose in my life, whether I chose to do a certain job, or I chose a certain business, or I chose a certain woman, or I chose anything for that matter, I was just doing it because I wanted to distract myself, and I wanted to forget her, I wanted to escape, and I was not willing to realize that something could be missing from my side also, or I could be having some issues, because many of these divine masculines are very logical and very practical. And if there is no obvious sign of abuse, they have not gotten sexually abused, or they have not gotten any type of, specific like beating, getting beaten up, or physical abuse, emotional abuse. If they don't see it, they don't believe it. They are like, no, I never got abused, and nothing happened with me, nothing traumatic happened with me. But traumatic things had happened to them, and a very advanced divine masculine who overcame that. Maybe he had some weight issues, like he was very fat, and he overcame that and he became very healthy. Or he had some other issue, like maybe he was really bad in studies, in school. He would just simply not get the right marks. But as time passed by, he started, as he grew more in his job or wherever he was, he started flourishing, and he started making sure that I am going to do better in my life. Or maybe he was born with some kind of a social disease, or some kind of a, which was not a result of some abuse, which was there ever since he remembered. But obviously, when you do inner work, you realize the wounds were in the childhood. He may not be aware about it. That is a different thing altogether. Now, the divine masculine who's in this situation may not also be open to the traumas or the abuses that the divine feminine had gone through. Because in his understanding, he feels that the divine feminine is simply a mean person, or that is the conch shell, if you can hear it, the sound in the background. It's actually a good thing. It's a good energy release, playing the conch shell sound. You guys can check it out. What is a conch shell? In India, it is used when normally you can see it in temples and prayers. Especially Bengali people play the conch shell a lot. And in the time of Mahabharata, without this, no warrior would start his war. So anyway, the divine masculine and the divine feminine have this sort of a dynamic where both are unaware about why the other person behaved in a certain manner. For example, the divine feminine has some kind of a psychic ability. Her ability is so good and strong that whenever a stranger meets her, they start pouring their heart out to her without even knowing her. Same way the divine masculine met her, and he started telling her about, everything about his life. I went through this, I went through that, this happened, that happened, things he would not have shared with anyone, but he shared with her. Now when she leaves, he gets very, scandalized that why was I saying all of these things to her, and what would she be thinking about me? So that has got not something to do with the divine feminine, but that is his own personal insecurity, where he lacks the emotion of expressing fully and truly with everyone. He might be socially nice to people, but he will never talk about what's there in his heart or in his soul. So there's a guilt of expression. Now that guilt of expression can also lead to separation, because he might never be comfortable, being naked in front of someone. He could be having an issue that, I don't want to be naked in front of a person. And I was naked in front of the divine feminine. Oh my God. I should not have done that. I should not have told her everything. Because everything is not sexual, guys. Being naked could be seen as a sexual expression. But actually it's about a person's soul. It's about a person's personality. How much are you willing to share? There are some people who have nothing to hide. There are some people who have nothing to cover up. They are very raw and very real. It doesn't mean that tomorrow each one of you should take off all your clothes and start roaming naked on the streets. That's not what I mean. We are actually all naked. That's why if you see a lot of aboriginals, if you see a lot of native people, Native Americans, Native Indians, they used to practice being naked. Even if they were completely not naked, because some of them were living in cold areas, but in their rituals, they would be naked, or they don't have any shame running around naked in the riverside, be it men or women. They don't see, the body the way probably others are seeing it. A daughter can be naked in front of a father. A father can be naked in front of a daughter, but it is not seen at all in any dirty way. It is seen in a very normal way. It is not even noticed. It is not even noticed. They have certain clothing. They have certain strange rituals according to us, according to the regular people. So a mother is naked. She doesn't see her breast, or she doesn't see her vagina or her body parts as something, that has to be flaunted or that has to be used to seduce people. That's why even their body looks very normal, when we see their documentaries or when we see something. But if you look around in the materialistic world, the same body parts are used by women who are seductresses, women who are using body as a business. Everyone is doing business. Trust me. Everybody has to do business. This is how the theme of planet Earth is. You have to be independent. You have to earn here. You have to be on your own till the last day of your life. But doing it with a very negative intention, doing it just for your own satisfaction always, and doing it to get validation. Most of the people who are doing plastic surgeries, they're growing big boobs or big butts or doing a lot of liposuction. Why do they do it? That's because they want people's validation. And you will see most of those people have lots of followers on Instagram. Millions of followers. And come to think of it, most celebrities who have many followers on Instagram, millions of followers, none of those followers are organic followers. None of them have organic followers. They're all based on marketing and PR. Every single person is doing some kind of marketing or PR. There are very few people who are just expressing, just purely expressing. One of the great speakers, Alan Watts, used to say this, that, I love to speak, I love to express, and what can be better than making a living out of expression? He never did any marketing, he never did any PR, and even after his death, his videos, his audios are being played and they are being, used to uplift many people. And there are so many others like that. When I speak about people like Rumi, poets like Rumi, if you read Rumi's work, you will be amazed at the depth of his work. And that man was born hundreds of years ago. And still his work is speaking volumes about, upliftment, about feeling good, about actual authentic information about your ascension journey. He can talk about those things. And if you read, it's always very profound. So the divine masculine and divine feminine, both are going to be very deep. Let's face that. Let's understand. Both of them have certain depth in them. Even though they work on the principle of opposite polarity, but both from their own perspectives, one in the matrix, the other in the spiritual realm, both are fighters, both are warriors, and both are trying to learn. And when they meet each other, they see that spark in each other. But that spark, it just goes away somewhere in between because they need to make it permanent. And the divine masculine, most importantly, has to understand her worth, her value, who she really is. She's not faking, she's not pretending, she actually loves me. His biggest problem in life is that she doesn't love me. Again, most of you might not believe it. Most of you might say, why would you say that? What makes you say that? But I'm speaking from research and I'm speaking from therapies of many people. And I'm sharing this because just the way you could be having an abandonment issue or, and for someone it could be weird. Like, how can you have abandonment issue? What do you mean by abandonment issue? Why do you have fear of abandonment? Who has fear of abandonment? The masculine can say the same thing to her or something similar to her. Like, who on earth has a fear of abandonment? Just the way he has the fear of rejection, and his fear of rejection is very visible, becomes very visible to him and to the feminine as well. That yes, I did have fear of rejection, just the way the feminine says, I did have fear of abandonment. But that does not mean that she should be spending all her time waiting for him. She should not be spending all her days waiting for him. She should not be falling weak in the moments where she goes and stalks him. Maybe you want to get rid of something and you want to look for an information. That's still understandable, maybe. But when you stalk, you need some kind of validation. And that is the truth. You need some kind of validation. You need something, some physical proof that he's still there, he still loves me, or he's single or not, or he's available or not, or does he think about me, does he talk about love, does he post about love? He used to post about love when he was with me or before me. I have seen all his posts. I have checked everything about him. But then, he blocked you and he never unblocked you maybe. And that's what hurts you. You might be having a very innocent mind or thought that, I will check something out. But when you don't get that result or you see something else happening, maybe he's flirting with someone else, or maybe even if he's not flirting with someone else, you just feel that he has still not, unblocked me. After all these months, after all this while, all this time, he has not let his ego down. He has not apologized me. Something can just trigger you. That's why we say don't do stalking. And also somewhere so it needs to be healed. If you have stalked him a lot, you need to heal it, you need to let go. Because the reason why you stalked, there is a reason why people stalk. They don't stalk because they enjoy stalking or they love stalking. But there's something really which is empty in them. To fill that emptiness, they want to find out. And that emptiness has got a lot to do with the feeling that I'm not good enough, or I'm not worthy enough for this person to connect with me. Now, all of these areas, when the Divine Feminine heals it, especially I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, I need to do more, to be lovable, to please people, or to just be accepted. When she heals all of these very deep type of wounds and very deep type of feelings, that is when the Divine Masculine makes a huge shift, where he starts realizing that it is because of her that he feels all right. It is because of her that he feels better. It is because of her that he has improved as a person, because she showed him that side of him where he needed to change, he needed to improve. And it was only her love which was so real that no matter where he went, no matter what he did, no matter which methods he took to escape from love, from her thoughts, he just could not do it. And for some of them, it takes many years. And even after all those years, and again, I have read accounts of many people, I've read testimonials by runners who said that, it took me so long to figure it out. But when I figured it out, in some cases it was long, because they were making career choices, because they had to please their family members. They were not able to make decisions. They were just not able to do things that they really wanted to do. So, according to him, it's like she smiles for me once, and that seems okay. Like, even if I'm in the worst mood, I just have to look at her smiling face and everything becomes okay. He feels that she has a lot of positive energy to offer, and he also feels that she offered him that positive energy, but he was not, open to see it or receive it or perceive it. So he got triggered by it. He thought that she's overdoing it, or she's not real, or she's not, loving me in the right way, or she's just very selfish, or whatever came to his mind, But for him, at that point in time, he was not ready. And after he becomes ready, and after he's done that work, he's made that journey, he feels that just one smile from the Divine Feminine can change his mood, can make him happy. She is his happy place. And he feels that he says that it's in my heart now. In my heart, I feel that if she is in my life, everything is going to be okay. Everything will be fine. Everything is going to be all right. I will be fine. That's a very big statement to make, and he is making that statement. On that note, I would be ending this channeling session. One love and peace out.